Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Smith's Kitchen. Brian, Mr. Smith Kitchen, as always. And today we're going to do a crock pot meal. Got a lot going on. Man, I'll tell you what, the last few weeks have just been crazy busy. Which is why you only got one video last week. It just not enough time. I hardly did anything new, special, or eventful. Graduation time is just busy. Sarah graduated, and we got her party coming up, so we're planning that. I'm rearranging things in the backyard, and today I'm gonna start building the awning off the side of the garage for a little patio area. See how that goes and how far I get that done, because I also get to cut the grass. It finally rained here, and now the grass is just shot up overnight. It's just crazy. But anyhow, so we're gonna do a crock pot meal. We're gonna do a teriyaki pot roast, which I think is going to be amazing. I like the ingredients, although there's not a lot, but they're definitely plentiful. So that being said, if you're new, welcome. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. If this is your first video, I hope you get something out of it, and check out some of the other videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. That's always important because it's out there in the algorithm. Grows the neighborhood, right? That way we can, be good a whole neighborhood full of good neighbors. Wouldn't that be awesome? But anyhow, important things. Let's get down to the counter so that way we can start putting this all together. All right, hold on for me 1 second. Okay, so we're down here at the counter, and it's got a few moving parts, like I said, but it's not real bad. First things we need to do is I've got about 2.5, almost 3 pounds of pot roast here. The original recipe only called for 2, but I'm feeding a fair amount of people, and I like leftovers, so I've got closer to 3. But I've got a skillet over here, and I've got it started warming up, but I want to get 2 tablespoons of oil in there, canola oil in there, and get that heating up. And while that's heating up, we can take our chuck roast here, and we're going to just cover them in flour. All right, I've got a 1/4 cup of flour right here that we can just sprinkle on here, and then rub it on, and we want to do all the sides on it. All right, we got those all coated all the way around, so they are nice and ready to go. And I need a towel of some sort to wipe my hands off with. But so what we're gonna do is, now we got this coated, we're gonna wait on this to heat up, and then we're gonna sear these on all the sides, and then we can so when I come back, we'll do some searing. All right, we're shimmering and dancing there, and I can see with smoke wisps coming up, so we're hot enough. So now what we're going to do is we're just simply going to take our meat, put it in the pan, and we're going to let it sear on all 6 sides. All right, so let me get this done, and then we'll move on. Okay, so we got our that was awfully exciting, wasn't it? But I got our pot roasts are seared on all the sides except for the very end. So that's all right. We're trying to pull that flavor out, that flavor profile out of the pot roast. So now we've got our, I've got that turned off. It should still sizzling. Now we've got our slow cooker. So to this slow cooker on the bottom, before we put any of the pot roast in, we are going to put in 1 medium green pepper, 1 medium onion, and I've got the green peppers sliced in 1/4 to 1/2 inch slices. The onions, it said to quarter them in the original recipe, but I went a little smaller than that and did, I guess it'd be 1/4 per half, and then quartered. And we'll put those on the bottom. And then I've got 4 medium-sized potatoes. Now in the original recipe it didn't specify what potato. I have a golden potato because that's what we have, and it said just to quarter those also, but I wanted a little smaller chunks, more bite-sized than quartered pieces. So I went ahead and did that way, and then I've got 2 cups of carrots, baby carrots. Sorry, my brain is on 1,000 things, and it just is so much to do. But Your attention is more needed. You stopped by to see me. And that's what's important. So I've got those on the bottom, right? Now we want to take our pot roast and we'll lay those in there. We've only got a couple more steps, handful more ingredients. So far, it's almost like we just built a basic pot roast, which is kind of nice. Where everything else comes into play is the sauce. So, hold on for me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So, I wanted to real quick go get a spatula so I could get the drippings and whatnot off the bottom. Most of them off the bottom of this as they are. So nothing's really stuck to it. A little bit of flour, but I want those drippings and all that to go in here with the pot roast. So now we've got that built. Let me spool this back just a hair. Oh, nope, wait. One more thing to put in there before we make our teriyaki sauce. Mushrooms, 8 ounces of mushrooms. So they're half a pound. Throw those in there on top of that. Now we can push this back and make the sauce. We're gonna make the sauce in the pan that had the mushrooms. So, to make the sauce that we're gonna pour over top of this, you will need, and it follows, recipe. In this bowl, we are gonna put a half a cup of teriyaki sauce, which I read the ingredients on it, and there's a lot of stuff in it. Most of it's just soy sauce with a handful of other things. But we've got our teriyaki sauce. We are going to add 2 teaspoons of ground ginger. Now the recipe said ground ginger, not fresh ground, so I'm just going with a regular ground ginger at 2 teaspoons. And we have 1 teaspoon of dried oregano. We have 1 teaspoon of black pepper. We have got 2 teaspoons of beef bouillon. Well, it's a beef base. And it's just basically a really, really concentrated broth. Super concentrated. That I'm putting in there. And it's pretty almost like a better than bouillon type. Comes in a jar. You can find it with your bouillon cubes and things of that nature. And then we're just going to take it and we're just going to stir it up real quick. Alright, we got that stirred up real quick. And then the last thing we got to put in the pot before we pour this over top of it is a 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar. See how it's shaped like the brown sugar? The 1/4 cup? It's because it's packed. We're just going to sprinkle this over the top. Like such. Take our sauce, pour it over all of that. Like such. And then put the lid on it. As soon as I remember what to do with the lid. There it is. Aha. Alright, we're going to put the lid on this. And we're going to let it cook. 1 second. Get the lid on there. These fancy contraptions. So all we got to do is put this on low. And then let her cook. How long are we going to let her cook for? So all we have to do now is kick back and wait like 7 hours. I know, it sounds like 7 hours. But it calls for 7 to 8 hours on the recipe, and I'll buy that. I mean, it's a hunk and bit of hamburger, but I'm also doing it on a low setting. That way, it can cook low and slow, right? And it's trapped in there. All that moisture is just, I can almost taste it. It's going to be amazing. So, when I come back, it'll be 7 to 8 hours later. I will have some work done outside, and we can give this a try. All right? See you here in just a second. Okay, so we've let this pot roast cook all day. I mean, it's literally been all day. It's 7:45 right now at night. We're just now getting in to eat supper. We've been outside all day, which you will get to see it, I promise, because I've already shot the video for it. I just got to get it edited. You'll probably see it tomorrow with our dessert video. So, or not with it, but it will be released tomorrow. It is so much that we've gotten accomplished in a short amount of time on top of everything else that's been going on. Unfortunately, YouTube has been what has suffered through this. But anyhow, back down to the counter. We've let this cook for almost 8 hours solid on low, and my whole house smells amazing. So hopefully it'll taste as good as it smells. It'll look as good as it smells, but we'll see. So let's get down to the counter and we'll do the last few steps. All right, hold on for me 1 second. Okay, we're down here at the counter. So we'll go ahead and kick this off. I don't think it's going to need any more time to cook. Get our lid off of there. Oh, that looks fabulous. I'm so excited, I'm throwing things. Don't throw your lid. So, to check your pot roast to see if it's done, I mean, you can take a temperature for it, but realistically, if you just pick it up and it starts falling apart like this one is, yeah, you know you're good. But if you want it to have, it should be about 145, 150. So we have to take this pot roast out right quick. Because, and this is optional, we could just be done now, but the original recipe talked about making a gravy for it, but you want to get your pot roast out of there because we're going to take this juice out, and I want everything to be in the way, and we're going to skim the oil off of it. And I've got this really cool tool that I have used, I think, one other time, but I always deemed it necessary. And that's this separator right here. It separates the grease from the broth, so to speak. But, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab that, grab a ladle, and we're going to just put some of this in here so we can get it to separate. Okay, so I got this filled with broth. You can see the line right there? That's the fat, and that would be the broth. So all I gotta do is just squeeze this handle here, and it'll let the broth out, and then we'll unsqueeze the handle when it gets down to where the fat is, the grease. All right, we got our gravy out of there. Fat is at the top. There's a little bit of gravy down there at the bottom, but we're just gonna put that fat off to the side. So now that we got our broth in there, I am going to take 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Now, like I said, this was a recommendation on their part, you know, to make this into like a gravy. And I thought it would be kind of a good deal. I mean, why not? I'll take some of the broth that's in that bowl there, put it on my tablespoon of cornstarch, although it did not tell you how to make your gravy. You could use flour, or like in this case, tablespoon of cornstarch. But if you use flour, some people are hesitant to use flour when it's not cooked first, only because they think they can taste, well, they can taste the flour. I can't, so using flour doesn't bother me either, but you just want to use some kind of thickening agent, you know, to do so first. So we'll get that in there, just like that. Get that stirred up, and then we're just going to pour this back in, right? Just like such. And give that a good stir, and that'll thicken up as it goes. So I'm going to put the pot roast back in there. Like I said, that'll thicken up as it sits, just like anything else. Because we're not, well, I mean, we're ready to eat this, obviously, but we do want to let it sit for just a minute with the top off and let it relax some. Get that back in there, and then once I let this relax for about 5 minutes or so, we'll come back, we'll plate it up and try some. Like I said, I know it smells delicious, it looks delicious. I can't imagine it's not going to taste magnificent. So, see you here in a second. Alright, so we let it settle for a little bit and calm down so that way we can burn our face off. And our juice is starting to thicken up a little, which is kind of nice. Give that a good stir. I mean, that just looks crazy good. Now, I am making this over rice. So I'm putting this over rice. You can put this in a bowl. You could just have it with bread, I'm sure. But with it being a teriyaki style, I would like to I think rice, in my mind, would go best with this. You know, as far as other things you could plate it with, almost any Asian side dish, wontons, wraps, you know, I mean, whatever. A nice salad would go good with this. Egg rolls, you know, whatever it takes. So, but there we are, right there. I think that looks amazing. I know it's incredibly hot, burning my face, but, well, not burning my face, but burning the tips of my fingers at any rate. But that's all right. So, we've come this far. What, oh, hey there. What, all we got left to do is try it, really. I mean, right? Oop, as I about to drop you guys, because that would be horrible. But I would be sorry if I did. But all we got left to do now is give this a try. I think it's going to be good. I think. I honestly, I haven't even tried the broth or anything yet, so we will be truly test driving this bad boy together. The only thing I found interesting in it was there is no salt. And I'm sure part of that's because of the teriyaki sauce. So there is one thing that you can't, we had left to do, and I went ahead and did it. And that's just grab your 3 green onions and just cut the greens off, right? And we're just gonna put those on top of it. You know, that's just a nice garnish to throw on there. Now we will give this bad boy a try. Why do I feel like I'm a million miles away from you? I really do. I'm not sure why. I feel like something's sitting up too high or something. I don't know. But let's give this bad boy a try. See where we're at. Grab some potatoes, some carrots, some onions, some mushroom. Some of the meat, some of the rice, maybe. If I can get it all on my plate. That's not bad. I think the only thing I would definitely maybe put a little salt in there, and maybe, just maybe, a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I think would have added a little more richness to this. But other than that, that's a solid start. Yeah. I'm thinking 1/4 cup of soy sauce to go with that teriyaki sauce. And it would just have, yeah, I don't think it would change a whole lot other than it would just make it richer, fuller in flavor, more robust. Yeah, but all in all, it's a good meal. Definitely have your friends come over and eat with you for dinner, and they won't stone you for making a horrible dish by any means. That's good. Like I said, a little soy sauce, you know, or some maybe of the more of the teriyaki sauce, salt, and we would be in there. Hands down, like so. Yeah. Tomorrow we are going to. Sorry, I had a pot roast stuck in my teeth. Tomorrow we are going to do a cheesecake. And this cheesecake it's just a cherry cheesecake, but it's a Japanese style cherry cheesecake. And it is my understanding, because I didn't know there was such a thing, Chris actually found the recipe for it, and a Japanese style cheesecake is spongier, it's lighter, and the process is out of this world, completely different than any cheesecake I've ever made. That's what intrigues me the most. And it's served warm, right? Warm. You can't, you refrigerate it after, you know, your leftovers, but it is served warm, and that caught my attention. So not only does it have a different process for making it, but it's served warm. So all that intrigues me, and we gotta try it, right? So that's gonna be tomorrow. Tonight, though, try this. Let me know if you do. Leave me a comment down below or jump on Facebook and let me know. Yeah, under Mr. Smith's Kitchen. We have a Facebook group. Give it a shot. If you try this, like I said, let me know either place, or if you have something similar you do, or you just have a completely different process for pot roast. Let me know. Leave a message down in the comments. Whichever. Find me on Messenger. So till tomorrow for Japanese style cheesecake. I love you. I love you very much, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, with all sincerity. The fact you guys take time out of your day to spend with me, I think is amazing, and that shows me how much I'm loved more than you will ever know. Tell somebody else you love them, and that you love them very much. It's going to make them feel a whole lot better. It's going to make you feel better to tell them. You make some of this teriyaki pot roast, they're going to know that you love them. They're going to taste it in every bite, and it's a great tool for conversation. This will start it right there. They're going to be like, oh, this tastes really good. What did you do? And all of a sudden, boom, holding a conversation and good times. So till tomorrow, I love you. I'll see you then. All right, talk to you later. Bye.